Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. I want to do a video today talking about cryptocurrency and the crypto market, the amazing losses that have happened over the last 48 to 72 hours, and my interpretation of this and what I'm reading in the market sentiment and what I think it tells us about where we're at. So, first of all, this isn't going to be a rah rah, let's all go buy cryptocurrency, buy the dip video, but I do want to speak to where I think we're at and what I'm doing. So, for a long time, for weeks or months now, we've been hearing conversations online and through YouTube and blog posts and Reddit, and anyone who knew anything about cryptocurrency was throwing around that bubble chart, which you've all seen, which catalogs the stages of a bubble. And people keep using the word capitulation and suggesting that that's where we've been at or where we are at in the crypto bubble, and they're taking that as a indicator that we're moving into our next uh, accumulation phase, which I think is generally true. But then no one was talking about despair, and no one really, of the people that I know or follow, no one was really saying, this is dead, let's move on, until yesterday. And so I think we're moving into the despair phase where people are actually going to start saying, people who were believers are going to start saying that cryptocurrency was dead or is dead, and best to move on, cut your losses, and move on. Yesterday, that's what I saw in a major YouTuber, crypto investor who has like 150,000 followers. You'd probably know him if you're watching my video. He gives great content and good advice. I've listened to him, followed him, enjoyed his content, and none of this is meant to slag him or his opinion. But he says in his video from yesterday, which already has 27,000 views in one day, he says in the video essentially, he's done with cryptocurrency, and he's not sure if Bitcoin's going to ever exceed its previous all-time highs. He feels hesitant that Bitcoin will ever see $11,000 again. And so he makes other points as well. Mostly it's cautionary, be careful if you're invested in cryptocurrency. Make sure if you can't afford to lose the money, you cut your losses now and save what you can. All of which is really, in my mind, the words of despair in action and unfolding. Seems to me that not for himself, but for the people, that 150,000 people that follow him, he is filled with despair around what could be a life-changing loss to the people who have listened to him around buying cryptocurrency. And I'm not trying to say that he twisted their arms or convinced them, but as a speaker in this space, you might take a certain amount of, you might feel, rightly or wrongly, that you are responsible for the actions of the people who listen to you. And again, rightly or wrongly, you might take on a certain burden, emotional toll, if you think that those people are getting wrecked, which lots of people are getting wrecked. Now, I would be of the opinion he's not to blame, and neither am I, neither is anybody who speaks about cryptocurrency, but it's the actions of the buyer or seller alone. I think it's our personal responsibility to invest not more than we can afford to lose. And so I think he's wrong to accept any sort of burden from if he is accepting any burden personally. I think he's wrong to accept that burden. But that's not the point. My point is this, that I think he's exhibiting despair for those who he believes have gotten wrecked through this bear market. And despair is, according to that bubble chart, a part of the natural cycle on our way back to an accumulation phase where we lead into a new bull run. It's part of the natural cycle, and it seems to me that it's a logical next step from the capitulation that we've allegedly been going through for the last few months. And so So I take it as a sad but actually positive sign that we're moving toward bigger things. Now, I'm not saying rah rah, let's buy the dip, go crypto to the moon. I'm just saying it seems to me to be an indication, an example of writing on the wall that we are moving naturally through that bubble chart that we've all seen. And I'll link in the description below. Additionally, Cryptoverse, which is another a major YouTuber, yesterday posted a big video, and he talked about this exact issue, despair, and how it seems that we are actually moved this recent dip from Bitcoin at 6,300 to Bitcoin at 4,300 yesterday, November 20th, is indicative of what he would view as despair. And then I would add to that, yeah, I agree, but I think we needed to see a big sell-off in terms of volume sell-off, because at every previous bubble in Bitcoin, and frankly in every bubble of any kind, at the end of a bear market, there's got to be a real sell-off where people say, no, it's like this is going to zero, get out while you can. Salvage what wealth you're able to, sell now, I don't care how much it's fallen, get out. That is the real end. And if you go back in the Bitcoin charts, you'll see the previous ends at the real bottom, the historical bottom of a Bitcoin cycle, bull cycle. There's always a real volume sell-off. You'll see a high point look at the volume charts on Bitcoin. You'll see there's a spike in volume, and it's a red candle, and then we see a slow and steady ascension, an accumulation phase. So I think for the last 48 to 72 hours, we've been seeing despair, and I think we've been seeing the volume that historically marks the bottom of a bear cycle. It doesn't mean tomorrow it's going to pop up. It doesn't mean tomorrow it doesn't mean you should buy the dip. If you are a person who's concerned about cryptocurrency going to zero, you shouldn't be at all invested in this. I believe the fundamentals of cryptocurrency have not changed for the worse, that they have changed for the better. And I believe that certain cryptocurrencies like Steam, find me on steemit.com and look at my blog post where I earn Steam every day, like Bitcoin, which is the first and most notable and most widely adopted cryptocurrency as a money. And like Ethereum and like EOS and like XRP, these few cryptocurrencies are not going anywhere, in my opinion. And the fundamentals around how they operate, their utility and their adoption are all better today than they were yesterday, and better this year than they were last year. And so in my mind, cryptocurrency is a better investment than it ever has been. And so, yeah, I'm confident where I'm at. I don't look at my fiat value in my crypto investments and say, uh-oh, I've lost something. I look at my cryptocurrency tokens and what I perceive them to be worth, and I say to myself, let's quietly keep accumulating them, because I believe in the fundamental capability and revolutionary offering that those cryptocurrency projects provide or solve, or the solutions they provide. But if you don't believe in those, then I get it. You shouldn't be buying crypto. But just today, all I wanted to talk about was really, I think we're in that despair phase now, which is sad because people are getting wrecked. They're losing some people are leveraged and they're losing huge amounts of money. This is partly why I don't believe in leverage. I think leverage is a dangerous game and you shouldn't do it. I've done it before and I got wrecked. So I don't recommend anybody leverage long or short. And you can't time these markets. It might be another year or 5 years before we see another bull run. But I think definitively crypto investor is mistaken. I think definitively cryptocurrency, Bitcoin specifically, is going to reach previous all-time highs. It might not be next year, it might be 5 years from now, but it's going to happen. That's my opinion. And in the meantime, it could fall another 100%. It could fall another 50% down to maybe 2,000 or even lower. I don't know where the bottom is, but I think we're at least entering the despair phase. And I take that as a part of the, I take it as a sad but positive indicator that we are moving naturally through the bubble cycle on our way back into an accumulation phase and beyond into another bull run eventually. That's all I wanted to say, I think. Certainly, I'm not encouraging you to go and buy this dip. I'm simply saying I'm happy during this dip. Not happy. I'm aware of the risk, and I'm confident enough in my judgments and analysis of the fundamental capabilities of the investments I'm in, that even if it doesn't go up tomorrow, I believe long term, maybe 10 years from now, it will go up. And so, yeah, if you don't feel that way, you probably shouldn't be in this space. And maybe that's the first conversation with yourself. Do you believe in the fundamentals? And if not, why? And put those criticisms to the test. And maybe alternatively, if you do believe in cryptocurrency, put your beliefs to the test. Like, ask yourself, reanalyze your beliefs. Like, are the fundamentals of my favorite project good or bad? And reanalyze that today, maybe. I'm doing that every day, and I think it's good advice for anybody who's in this space, or for that matter, who's invested in anything, whether it's real estate or gold or silver or stocks or cryptocurrency. That's all for today, I think, guys. I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah, that's all for today. Sorry for anybody who's just getting blown away by these losses. I'm certainly losing a lot of fiat value, but again, I don't measure my wealth in fiat terms. I measure it in cryptocurrency tokens that I believe in, or in ounces of silver. Thanks so much, guys, for your time and attention. Find me on steemit.com at infidel1258. Follow me, like and subscribe, and have an awesome day. God bless you.